What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Mr. Joe's Baseball Show. Back at it with another Baseball Basics. It has been a long time, a very long time, but here we are talking about one of the best characters in the entire game, a very, controversial as far as how much people like her goes, kind of character. We got Birdo. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to talk about Birdo. I'm not going to waste any time. I know it's been a long time, so let's just get right into it. I just want to talk about her stats real quick. Birdo has, pretty normal stats all around. Nothing too stand out as far as these numbers go. She's got a slap hit power of 55, a charge hit power of 67, and middle trajectory, so just the normal standard trajectory. Nothing special about that. She has 4 speed, which is kind of low, and she's got a 60 power throwing arm, which is pretty decent. That's a pretty good throwing arm, all things considered. But you'll get to notice soon that her stats are not what makes her a good character. And just looking at her abilities, the two abilities are body check, which is when you knock out the fielder in close plays on the bases, and suction, which is kind of Birdo's entire strong suit in the field, and we will talk about that briefly. So without further ado, let's move on into her batting. So, while Birdo is all around a really strong character, the reason that she's considered so good in this game and sits in that top tier of the game is because of her batting, and specifically her star hit. While she doesn't really have that great of a slap hit, it's not bad by any means. You can definitely still, you can still get hits. It's like I just showed you, it's still a pretty good slap hit. It's really not what you want to be doing with Birdo. And charging, she just doesn't have the power to hit the ball out of the park without perfect contact. But with a star hit, you can get a lot of hits just like that. And as you can see, 1 star, a ground rule double, and that is just the start of it. So Birdo's star hit, the weird ball, is pretty much considered the best star hit in the game. It's very volatile. You can sometimes double play like you just saw there. But sometimes you're going to get a double like I showed you before, or sometimes you can even get triples if you get a lucky bounce. Something like this, I can get all the way around to third base. So, Birdo's star hit really, I'm going to get thrown out because I'm not mashing, but you get the point. Birdo's star hit, really, really, really strong, and it's basically what makes this character what she is. And now, Birdo has always been a very strong pick for captain, so, picking Birdo as captain, you get the discounted star hit. It only costs 1 star to use your captain. So Birdo having just the 1 star for hers is really strong because you can get so much value out of just 1 star. And you put her behind, a character like Bowser, you put her behind a character like Petey, or in front of Petey even to give him chemistry. You have a lot of options with Birdo in your lineup, but this isn't even the big thing about Birdo Egg. Obviously, Birdo Egg, very strong, but there is something you can do called the Slice. It is a tech in this game where you make contact on the last possible frame of your swing, and you are guaranteed to hit the ball up the middle every time. Now, you do have to be frame perfect. I'm going to try to do it, but if I don't get it right away, don't be mad at me. All right, I got it right away. So that's a Slice right there, and as you can see, that is just such a good hit. It went directly up the middle. That guarantees that I'm going to get at least a single out of it. And while you do sometimes just get the single, you're definitely capable of getting extra bases. And the fact that this is, this can be done fairly consistently is such a strong thing for Birdo. Now, I know you might hear oh, I have to be frame perfect. I have 1 single frame to make contact with the ball, and otherwise it's going to suck. That's just not true, because if you make contact on the frame before the last one, which is technically the the third to last frame, I believe, of the actual swing, you'll hit the ball down the line like that. Now, sometimes that will result in a foul ball, and that's okay. But if it's a hit like that, that is just so strong, and sometimes that's actually even better than the Slice because it goes into that corner, and it's so hard for the fielder to field that without you getting at least 2 bases, driving in some runs. So if you're able to master this tech, you sit in training mode a little bit and you try to get the perfect timing right, then you can definitely make the most out of the Birdo Egg. But again, you don't have to be frame perfect to do it. You can just swing for the Birdo Egg and try to, get pretty good hits. You could get a hit like that. That's not a Slice. And look at that. It's going to score Toad, a nasty bounce. So this is the bread and butter of playing Birdo. Her star hit is just so ridiculously strong. There's really not much else you could say about it. Sure, it does have double play potential because if you mess up your Slice, you might hit it there, and that's probably caught by a real player. Then they throw it a second and W up. But if you get a Birdo Egg down, especially at the cost of just 1 star, you're going to get such immense value from it. Something like that Like, that's a guaranteed single. It drives in a run. It's really good stuff. And this is the reason why you pick Birdo. However, there is more to Birdo's kit. You know, it's not like she can't do this. It's not like she can't put slap hits together. She's got a really decent bat. It's not bad by any means, but sometimes she kind of finds herself hitting the ball a little too far, or her bat reach isn't very good, so that's obviously a detriment. You definitely have to be disciplined because, as you can see, like this, I'll try to show you like how kind of short her bat reach is. You really can't reach things that are that far off the plate. She has, I believe, the same bat reach as Mario. So that's something to consider. You have to be disciplined with Birdo. But the big thing is, if you get a hold of one, you're most likely going to get extra bases. You're most likely going to get RBIs. And it's so strong. You can see something like that. That's bouncing right into the corner. That's probably going to clear the bases here. And that's just a stand-up double for Birdo. 3 RBIs. So, I mean, that's the real appeal of this character. Birdo is such a menace at the plate. But that's not to say that, her batting is her only strong suit, because Birdo is just as good, maybe a little bit worse, in the field. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So let's go ahead and let's talk about some Birdo fielding. Alright, so now that we're on to talking about Birdo's fielding, I've crafted my team of all Birdos up against our team of all Luigis, and I'm kind of just going to talk. I'm going to throw some pitches, and we'll see if we can show off Birdo's fielding to any decent extent. So, Birdo's strongest positions in the field are pretty cut and dry: shortstop, second base. You really don't want to see her anywhere else. You don't want to see her at, pitcher, catcher. I wish this guy would swing the bat. You don't want to see her at pitcher, catcher. She's not that strong in the outfield, but she is able to do this, which is catch the ball from very far away due to her suction. I believe the only character with better range in the field than Birdo is Yoshi. Obviously, Birdo is pretty slow, but when you're looking at what she does in the infield, you're really counting on that kind of that burst movement rather than the speed to get to the fly balls and things like that. Obviously, they're just going to charge swing because that's not what I need at all, but you can kind of see there, that range is so ridiculous. So when you have Birdo at second base or shortstop or something like that, and they're going for star hits, unfortunately it's not that good, and they're going for star hits and things of that sort, you're really able to shut down so many different batters. Line drive star hit struggles against Birdo for sure, and just kind of like weak line drives that other characters, God, they are really just only going for these charge swings. But yeah, line drive star hit and weak slap hits and things like that just aren't able to get by Birdo, and it's honestly so strong for the character because you just throw her at shortstop or you throw her at second base, and she's able to shut down pretty much anything. And something like that, even you could see there, looked like it was over her head, but it was pretty far behind. She uses the suction to bring it in. She has a pretty decent hitbox size. She's not a big character by any means, but she isn't small. She's not like a skinny character like the princess is or anything like that. So she's able to really just lock down the middle infield. When you put her in combination with a character like Yoshi or a character like Donkey Kong, you're really just going to have a total lockdown infield. Obviously, some hits are still going to get through like that. And you can see here that Birdo's arm is pretty good. She was able to throw out Luigi there, which is pretty solid. She's got pretty decent strength with the 6 power or 60 power throwing arm. So she's no slouch with the arm, and just her horizontal range is so strong. I'm not very used to Birdo being in the outfield, so you might see her kind of, mess up a little bit there. But the important thing about the character is that she's able to burst in the middle infield, and she's able to really pick up and rob a lot of characters of singles. It's kind of one of the big reasons that that so many of the low-tier characters aren't very good is because characters like Birdo or Donkey Kong or Yoshi that have such good range in the infield can just shut down all their weak slap hits that just won't get out anymore against these characters. So you absolutely want to be playing Birdo at second base or shortstop. I kind of determine it based off who else I have. Generally, I feel like you see her at second base because Donkey Kong, say you have him at shortstop, he has a stronger arm. Oh, she ain't getting that one. I hate that they keep charging. Generally Donkey Kong has a better arm and pretty good range as well, so you put him at shortstop, but a lot of people like Yoshi at shortstop too because of his superior range. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't play Birdo shortstop, Donkey Kong second base, Wario second base, stuff like that. You do have options, but it's really a preference. As long as you're playing Birdo in the middle infield, you don't want to pitch with her, you don't want to catch with her. Outfield is not the place for her. You've seen that she's missed a decent amount of stuff in the outfield because she just lacks that speed. But really, it's hard to show it without actual gameplay. But Birdo in the infield is such an oppressive character. She's able to shut down so many things that it's so important to have her in your middle infield. And just like that combined with the batting that we were just showing, her ability for extra base hits, her really strong ability in suction, and what we're going to get to next, which is her chemistry. This character really, really puts together a strong game plan, has every tool you need to be a solid character in Mario Superstar Baseball. And we'll just get one more before we get out of here, and we move on to Birdo's chemistry. So yeah, Birdo, like I said, I'll say it a million times, and I've said it a million times because it cannot be stressed enough. Put her in your middle infield, even just range like that when the ball is being hit quickly is so important. So let's move on now to talk about Birdo's really strong chemistry tree. Now, if you're somebody who knows Mario Superstar Baseball well, and you heard me say, oh, Birdo's really strong chemistry tree, you might be a little hesitant to agree with me at first, but trust me, I think it's very strong. Maybe not for the reasons that you would initially think so. So let's take a look at what makes chemistry good. So first, the 90-plus chemistry characters are the ones that will give you your chemistry boosts on the base pads, your chemistry boosts to throws, and those are Yoshi, Petey, and Shy Guy. Now, Shy Guy, he's not a great character. He's fine. You might see him sometimes. But Yoshi and Petey, those are two of the top 4 characters in the game, top 5 characters, wherever you want to put them. So having those links is really strong. You know, maybe you throw Petey at first base, and you're able to have chemistry going from short to first, or you throw Yoshi and Birdo in the infield. You have chemistry going from short to second, things like that. So those are really good chemistry options. But obviously, she doesn't have a crazy chemistry tree like Bowser or like Petey Piranha, who has, Birdo, DK, King Boo, something like that. But that alone, those are really strong options. Now, Birdo, she doesn't really care about power hitting, but the fact that you could put her in front of Petey Piranha, and since she has such a high on-base percentage with the egg, especially if you're going for slices, having her in front of Petey to nearly guarantee Petey up with chemistry is really, really strong. Now, Petey obviously doesn't always need the chemistry, but it certainly does not help to get that boost to his power. Now, what I think is so strong about Birdo's chemistry is due to the fact that she is a captain character, and she is the most common captain in the entire game. You're going to see Birdo captain in pretty much every single game of Mario Baseball that you use, especially since the new meta, Bowser doesn't have to be your captain anymore. So what I want to take a look at down here is Birdo's 19 or less, which is her anti-chemistry zone. Birdo has no anti-chemistry, so that's obviously a good thing. There are a lot of characters that don't have anti. Birdo is just happens to be one of them. But what's so important is that Birdo's chemistry is on average pretty high, which is really good for her as a captain on your team. Because Birdo's going to be, like I said, captain on pretty much every game. You're going to have a hard time finding a game where Birdo's not your captain in the current meta, or Birdo's not one of the captains. So the fact that all of her chemistry is relatively high means that she's going to start the game with high team stars. And Birdo, a character who really wants to use stars, really likes having high team stars because you could start off with 4 or 5 stars every game. You don't have to struggle to kind of build those up. There are 3-star teams out there, but having 4 or 5 to start with is really, really good. I think team stars are more important than we think because it kind of starts you off with an inherent advantage if you have Birdo and you have high team stars. So that's why I like Birdo's chemistry a lot. No anti, decent, good even chemistry partners at the top here in Yoshi and Petey, and just an overall solid chart for chemistry for this character. So really good stuff. I like Birdo as a character a lot. She's really, really, really strong, obviously. A little bit of, like I said, controversial. Some people really don't like her because of the egg. The egg's randomness, because it can bounce anywhere. Sometimes it bounces in good spots. Sometimes it absolutely screws you over with where it bounces. But that's just how the character is. That's just how Mario Baseball is. And that's that's pretty much all I have for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know this might have felt like a bit of a shorter one, especially for a character like Birdo, but I really feel like I said everything there was to say. Birdo's Slice is so good. Her star hit is so good when used in conjunction with that tech, and just her fielding is really, really immaculate. So Birdo finds herself in the top tier list, a top 6 character, top 7 character, depending on who you're asking. And you're going to see her as captain in every single game. So make sure that you get in the lab, you sit in practice mode, and you practice those Birdo eggs. You want to be pushing the ball. You want to be, you want to be putting it in decent spots that you don't think they're going to be fielders. It's all about timing, so really just got to drill that out. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today on Birdo. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being patient on the new videos. I'm really glad to be back. I'm really glad to be uploading more videos. I'll have something new for you guys next week. I hope you enjoy your 2023. Have a wonderful year, everybody. The year of Mr. Joe. That's what we're going to call it because I'm back. Thank you once again, and have a wonderful day.